This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. This story comes from Camden. It's actually a follow-up to the Lewis Blackman story. It happened in February last year. I covered it about a month ago and told his story where he was chased down by 20 young men and stabbed to death. Airbnb party in Kensington. Several of these members of that group belong to drill gangs ZT from London Fields and also OFB Youngers. What happened since the actual incident and the four was convicted of murder is that two young men were stabbed to death in the area following about a couple of days afterwards, and they claim this was revenge attacks. In the dock is 6 men and one of them is Asaya Papula. And his defence is that he was at a vigil for his friend, Lewis Blackman, during the actual stabbing of Abdikarim Hassan. If you actually just let that sink in as well, a boy was stabbed yards away from a vigil for a boy that was stabbed to death. The boys that lost their lives was Abdikarim Hassan and Sadiq Mohammed, 17 and 20. They died after being stabbed in 2 separate incidents. Mr. Papula, a keen footballer who was on a gap year from college, told the court that he was friends with Mr. Blackman, who was stabbed to death, and he went to the police cordon in West London. He said he had known Mr. Blackman since there was 12 or 13 and met through a football match. He started meeting up, going to parties, and they went on holiday together, he told the court today. Once it was confirmed Mr. Blackman had died, Mr. Papula and his friends started preparing posters for a vigil on the Peckwater estate in Kentish Town. 2 memorials were held on the evening of the February the 18th and 19th, which 15 to 20 people attended, lighting candles and saying prayers. Mr. Papula said that he knew Mr. Hassan, who had went to the same secondary school in Highgate, and they would often message over social media. I never had a problem with him, he said. The prosecution said a stolen BMW was seen on CCTV along Bartholomew Road in Kentish Town before pulling over, and within seconds Mr. Hassan was attacked. The fatal stabbing was captured on CCTV and there were no witnesses of the attack itself. Asked if he was the driver of the BMW, he said he played no part whatsoever. He also said he knew Mr. Mohammed, from his secondary school, Haverstock, and would often be at the youth centre in Regent's Park. I wouldn't say I knew him well, but with Ak, it was a day-to-day basis, but with Sadiq, he lived in the same area as me. Mr. Mohammed was dragged from a car he was trying to hide in and repeatedly stabbed in Malden Road. Again, asked of his involvement, he said, I played no part whatsoever and did not kill Sadiq Mohammed. He claims he was at the vigil until about 8:40 on the night of the incident, when they saw blue lights from the Bartholomew Road attack and they abandoned the vigil. Everyone was a bit shook up, and he said with someone getting stabbed so close to it. He said they went to the Appleford block and sat in the stairwell for about an hour before 2 left to go home, and he and another went to another nearby block to a friend's between 9:40 and 10 p.m. Christian Thomas, 19, Anarolu Temeni, 19, charged with murdering Mr. Hassan, Ben Drummond, 19, and JJ Fatuga, 19, of Clarence Way, are charged with murder of Mr. Mohammed. And a 17-year-old boy who could not be named for legal reasons was acquitted of violent disorder. And in a recent article that I read about Camden's situation at the moment, it appears that the police believe it is a battle for drugs. New gangs emerging in the past year and they are battling for drugs. This is what this DI Lexton Jones has said. Competition for control of the drug trade, which it results in a sharp rise of stabbings. It's an extremely lucrative market and has been stable for many years, but was disrupted in the last year when new established gangs rebranded themselves and muscled in on rivals' territory. So that's what the police believe is the actual cause of the actual rise in that local area. That it is connected to Lewis, and the fact that it's come back, and the fact of this eye for an eye sort of mentality, where from an outsider's perspective looking in, maybe you can see a different side to this. I'd love to hear what people have to say on this. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out our other uploads this evening on the Scarcity Studios website.